Hey everybody, so I wanted to give an update on the back doors. So I completed putting in the back doors, the trim, and it's all painted and all completed on both sides. The windows became a bit of a problem, and it started actually when I bought the windows. So I made a bit of a mistake. The windows themselves, when you buy them, you can actually get a frame that allows it to be deeper, meaning that it would stick out further so it would be flush with the wall. And my lack of knowledge at the very, very beginning in terms of thinking about how I was going to do this actually created a problem for me putting them all in. Now, it just made me do a lot more trim work to get boards in that fit around the sides and actually close it all in. Had I bought windows that allowed for a deeper frame, I would have been able to just frame right up to it and it wouldn't have been a problem. The issue that I have is that these windows, the frames on both sides, you have to be able to pull this piece down so that you can get the screws out if you need to take it out if there was a problem. So there's a bit of a gap at the top and the bottom to allow for that so that if I need to get access to the window, if there's a problem with leakage or something like that, if I need to fix it or something like that, I needed to make sure I had that. So I built it in as close as I could, but there are some little gaps at the top and bottom that are basically there for function. But it doesn't actually end up looking that bad. But I wish if I had thought about it that I would have framed out or bought the windows so that I could frame out closer to the window instead of having them inset. Functionally, it all works fine. It just took a little longer to actually build out the frames as a result of that, to get all these pieces that fit around the sides and everything like that so that it looks decent. These two panels down at the bottom, I did solid, basically half-inch plywood on these and just screwed them in for two reasons. One was that all the mechanics for the actual door, for the handles and the locks and everything like that, if for some reason there was a problem, I wanted to be able to have easy access to those things. And also because screwing into the side, there's actually a bunch of mechanics. So putting screws in right where the mechanics are would have been really difficult. I could have damaged something. So just doing the simple frame or the simple piece and framing it in this way worked out really well. And honestly, it was a lot faster to do it that way. The second reason why is that I wanted a little bit bigger piece of wood to screw into, because on this side over here, what we're going to do is actually make a series of pockets that will basically be our shoe storage. So when the door closes, it'll actually go into the garage and it won't interfere with anything. So we'll be able to basically store hopefully about maybe 4 to 6 pairs of shoes when we're going, because we'll have hiking boots and tennis shoes and probably some camp shoes, that kind of stuff. So we'll probably have up to 6 pairs of shoes for that. Over here, we can't do it because the bed hits basically about halfway up or 2/3 of the way up on this frame. But we are going to probably put another set of shoes or storage, even just pockets for maybe not shoes, but something else down on the bottom that will go basically right into this area here. So mainly just kind of trying to think ahead so that we're not causing any problems for ourselves in terms of where everything lands. There's enough gap between the door and this piece in here that it shouldn't interfere with any of the storage that we have inside the van. So trying to take advantage of as much as possible of all the spaces that you have. It's a very small space in the van, so trying to utilize as much of it as we can is really important. So I got the 2 doors done, and I think they turned out pretty well. A bunch of other small stuff inside the van. I basically got straps and secured in all the water jugs for the sink that I had finished. So now our clear water and our gray water tanks are secured. They're not rattling around. They're really tight and in there. Basically, I have a ratchet strap with a hook so that I can remove them easily to fill them or empty them. I did the same thing for our battery system. I basically have a securement there that allows us to basically clip in so that battery stays tight and won't move around as well. Obviously, you don't want it loose for any reason when you're driving, and it just makes it more secure. So basically trying to secure everything down. That's all done. The other thing that we've got now is, or the other thing that I'm working on right now is actually doing the doors for the upper cabinets. I'm still waiting on a couple parts for the propane. I've wanted to do this propane system for like 3 weeks now, but I keep waiting on parts. Shipping is just slow right now, so I'm just waiting on those, and once I get them, I'll start. But I've got most of it now, so hopefully, pretty soon I'll get into the point where I can actually hook up the propane and get our stove working as well as our heater working. The other thing is we've got curtains now up in the back, and I'll show those when I do some stuff inside. We've got curtains that cover the cab, so for privacy and for light in the van, and we also have a cushion that sits on top of the composting toilet now, which is working out great. So a little bit of work left to do there, but for the most part, that's where we're at. Today, basically, I'm gonna finish off the framing for the upper cabinets and hopefully get those installed. So that's where we're at, and I will give an update when those doors are done and more progress is made. So thanks for watching.